Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 14 of the Pan American series. Today we're going to be departing from El Loa in Calama, Chile, and we're going to be going up to La Paz, Bolivia, to El Alto International. This should be a pretty interesting flight. If you guys watched the last episode, the field elevation here at El Loa in Calama was about 7,000-ish, 7,300-ish feet. Which was interesting, but today in La Paz, where we'll be arriving later, the field elevation is over 12,000 feet. So yeah, this will be a pretty interesting episode. I'll zoom out here so you guys can see kind of where we are in the grand scheme of things. So we're making our way a good way through South America. We only have maybe a few more legs, like maybe 3 or 4 more episodes, and then we should be into Central America. So yeah, we're making pretty good progress, but without saying much else, let's get with it. Hello everybody, welcome back. We're here again in El Loa. As you can see, the weather's cleared up considerably since the last time we were here. And yeah, we're just getting the aircraft ready to depart, and we'll be on our way to La Paz. I don't know if I actually mentioned it in the intro map or not, but La Paz is actually in Bolivia. So this, I believe, will actually be our last leg in Chile, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll finally be moving on. I've already done a pre-trip inspection on the, or pre-flight, rather, inspection on the aircraft, so everything's looking okay. Made sure the oil was looking okay, and everything seems to be in good shape since we last left the aircraft here. So yeah, we're going to be going ahead and hopping aboard, and we'll be getting things ready to go. All right. Now the outside air temperature today, it's like about 45, 46 degrees Fahrenheit. We're a little less than 10 degrees Celsius, so it's a little chilly. So I'll go ahead and close up the door here. And we'll just make sure our controls are plugged in correctly, which they are, so that's good. All right, let's go before engine start checklist. Our pre-flight's completed. No passengers on board today, just us in the aircraft. Like I said in the intro map, La Paz, Bolivia is at an elevation of about 12,000, I think it's like 12,300 feet or something like that, so pretty high elevation, so obviously we'll be cruising at a pretty high altitude, so for those reasons we don't have any passengers, no cargo, just the amount of fuel that we kind of are estimating we'll need for the flight, and then some contingency fuel. So trying to keep things as bare bones as possible so that we have the best climb performance to get up to that higher cruising altitude that we'll need. Seatbelts are secured, the cabin doors closed and locked, the battery's off, gear switch is down. All our switches are off. Flip the battery on, we've got the 3 green on the gear lights. Elevator and rudder trims are neutral, which is true. Hydraulic shutoff valve is open. Fuel is checked, so we've got about 20-ish gallons in the fuselage and about 35-ish in the wing tank, so about, let's just call it about 90-ish gallons on board today. Low fuel warning is off, circuit breakers are all in and checked, those are all looking just fine for us today, and the altimeter is set. All right. Props are full forward, mixtures, idle cut off, throttles are cracked, batteries are on, flip the fuel selectors, over to cross feed and then back to on, just make sure we can hear them cycle in there. Right. And turn the right fuel boost on, make sure to full rich. Throttle to about half. See the fuel flow increase there, and as well we've got excuse me. As well we've got fuel pressure there. And then we'll go back to cutoff. Reduce this down here. Boost pump off. Let's prime it a little bit more, maybe. Come on. All right, maybe we flooded it. Let's try. Okay, yeah, looks like we overprimed it, which I guess, to be fair, it is relatively warm out, so. All right, 1,000 RPM. T's and P's looking good. Suction's looking good there on the right. Turn the right alternator on. And then we'll do the same on the left. Maybe a lot less priming on the left. There we go. Excuse me. Left alternator coming on. Put on our headset. Alright, headset's on. Starting. Let's get our RPM set here, and then we're going to lean our mixtures. And bring them back to 1,000 RPM. That way, hopefully, we're not fouling the spark plugs while we're sitting here going through all this. So, engines are starting. We're going to let them warm up. And, excuse me, we're going to pull up our sim brief flight plan here. And while that's doing that, going to turn our beacon on. That's okay. Flip our avionics master on here. And we can see it's 48 degrees in here, so let's get a little bit of cabin heat on. I do that every time I pull the defroster on instead of the actual temperature. Right, we will pull up our sim brief flight plan here. Departing El Loa and arriving La Paz. El Alto International. Alright, we've got our origin and destination in here. As you can see, the elevation of El Alto is actually 13,300, so it's off a little bit there. Alright, so let's load our procedure and our departure procedure from El Loa here. Is the Veer 3 Juliet. Runway 28. Last waypoint there is Vural, which is matches up with our flight plan here, so we'll load that departure. And after Vural, we'll go direct to Tokol. And we'll load an airway, the UL 309er, to Irobo. And then the Aruba 1 Alpha arrival into La Paz. And we're expecting runway 10, so we'll load that arrival. All that's looking good. Alright, perfect. And our altimeter, we accidentally left it on altitude reporting, but just set it back to VFR at standby until we get our new squawk code when we call it for clearance. Alright, we'll just call for clearance on ground here, which we already have tuned in. So yeah, we will do that now. LOA ground, Aerostar, November 702 Sierra Bravo, ready to copy IFR to La Paz.
I'll have your clearance in just a second. Aerostar November 702 Sierra Bravo, Calama ground, clear to La Paz via the Burel 3 Juliet departure, then as filed. Runway 28, initial climb to 11,000. Departure on 134.1 squawk 7177.
Clear to La Paz via the Burel 3 Juliet departure, then as filed. Runway 28, initial climb to 11,000, departure on 134.1 squawk 7177, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, read back correct.
Alright, so we've got our clearance from ground there. Got the aircraft started up. Engine temperatures are coming up. Almost in the green, or I guess we're just barely in the green here. Yeah, we're okay there. Alright, so now we could probably do our run-up checklist, so let's go ahead and do that. So we warmed up at 1,000 RPM, engine temperatures are checked, the props are full forward. Bring the mixtures to rich and the engines to 1,500 RPM. So check the engine instruments. Cylinder head temperature is looking good. Oil temperature is looking good. Fuel pressure is good. Oil pressure is good. RPM, fuel flow. Yep, everything's kind of looking how it should be, so that's good. Check our voltages here. Left alternator, right alternator. It's all looking good. Alright, let's check and then throttle up 2,100 RPM. Cycle of props. And now we'll perform our mag check. So, right engine first, go to right mag, back to both, left mag, back to both, left engine, right mag, back to both, left mag, back to both. Bring the RPM back. And the mixtures. Back to 1,000. Alright, we will see, just want to double check a few things here. So we finished our run up. Got the temperature warming up in here a little bit, which is good. What we say it was about freezing, and let's see, trying to think if there's anything else we need to go over before we head out. I don't think there is. We'll try to depart with flaps 10 today. Alright, we're gonna slip on a landing right here and we'll call ground for taxi. Loa ground, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo ready to taxi, IFR. Runway 28 taxi via Alpha, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. It should be simple enough. Throttle up a little bit here to get moving. Struggle to make our turn here. I do apologize in advance. Got a bit of a slight tickle in my throat today, so coughing a little more than I would like to be, but I guess ground didn't figure it was worth mentioning Charlie, but I guess to be fair, it would be kind of hard to get lost at this airport. Right, and then once we're on Alpha and rolling down, we can go ahead and do the before takeoff checklist. Right, so the cabin doors closed and locked, controls. Just double check. And rudder is free and correct. Mixtures are leaned, and we'll quickly lean them again for max power. Or pull onto the runway. Oh, maybe once we pull onto the runway, we'll see. Props are full forward, fuel selectors are on. Boost pumps will turn on at the end of the taxiway. Instruments have been checked, radios are set, flaps are 10 degrees. Trim set. Pitot heat is not required right now. I'll turn it on when we get up a little bit higher. And then parking brake and throttle. That's pretty self-explanatory. Alright. So we are at a pretty high altitude today. Like I said, it's, you know, as you can see here, it's 7,500 feet. In altitude here today. So obviously the takeoff roll might be longer than we would normally anticipate, but otherwise, hopefully everything should be okay. Actually, just realized I don't know if we updated our. Yeah, I don't think we updated our fuel when we loaded our payload, so I'll just update that now. We got 88.8 gallons remaining, so that's a more accurate representation of what we have on board. And while we're here, let's pull up this departure. Juliet departure. Okay, so that seems simple enough. Looks like essentially we climb out. Let's see if it has. Oops. Stop that. $8,500, continue climbing. We're gonna be struggling here. Continue climbing on the LOAVR. We go 281 until 12,000. Then turn right to intercept airway Tango 103, then according to ATC clearance. Okay, and just double checking here on our map. So after that, hit 12,000.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, contact tower on 118.7. Have a good afternoon.
Tower on 18.7. Have a good day, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. And 1341 in the box here for departure. And okay, so when we get to 12,000, then we will, obviously it'll probably get cleared direct to one of these, I have a feeling, but we shall see. Alright, pulling up to the runway here. Right, so let's just bring it up to about, let's just say 2,000 RPM. And put our boost pumps on. Just to make sure. And sending our mixtures for best power here for takeoff. So that looks to be right about there. Right on contact tower for our departure clearance. Calama Tower, Aerostar 702 Sierra Bravo, holding short of runway 28 at Alpha, ready to go.
Aerostar November 702 Sierra Bravo, Calama Tower, runway 28, winds 310 at 9er, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 28, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. cleared for takeoff. Strobe and landing lights on. Boost pumps are on, flaps are set, mixtures have been leaned. Got a little bit of a crosswind today, 10 knots, but nothing too crazy, so should be okay. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. Alright, let's go flying. Crosswind correction there. There's 80 knots. 90 knots. 100 knots, rotate. Tap the brakes, gear coming up. Flaps coming up. Our prop RPM back to 2400. Now we can go autopilot master. Heading is in GPSS, so we're in heading mode. Attitude. Now our throttles are against the firewall, and we're gonna just bring our RPMs over to departure. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. It's very difficult to hear them on that transmission. There you are, climbing out. Go over to departure. Calama departure, Aerostar 702 Sierra Bravo with you climbing 9,000 for 1,000.
Aerostar November 70, 2 Sierra Bravo. Antofagasta departure. Radar contact. Climb via the SID.
Climb via the SID. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Set that to altitude reporting. Whoops. There's 10,000. Actually, we didn't really look to see what the transition altitude is for this. It's like 13,000. 18,000's transition altitude, okay. We are climbing out. Beautiful views. Obviously this area is very scenic, so Antofagasta departure, they said. So I wasn't prepared for that name, but they knew who we were trying to get a hold of, so that's good, I guess. Alright, 500 to go for 12,000.
Sierra Bravo. Climb flight level 200.
Climb flight level 200, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Declared us to climb higher. These pumps can come off now. Swell. That's not what we want. It's supposed to be a right turn to intercept, so. And now to flight level 200, so that makes things nice and easy. Wow. Look at these views out the window. There's Loa out off the right wing. Course to intercept. Excuse me. And let's see. Moving direct. Yep, activate that leg. 334. Excuse me. We'll fly this heading until we intercept our leg to Voral. Alright, we're almost at 13,500. I'm going to take a minute or two to put on our oxygen, supplemental oxygen. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys in a minute. Alright, put on the oxygen. Let's just do the climb checklist. So flaps up, gear up, that's all good. Ox climbs 122 knots, the fuel pumps are off. Power's set, which we're at. The throttles are absolutely against stops, and then we're at 2400 on the RPM. And then we're trimming for somewhere between 122 and 160, so we're doing what, about 125-ish? It's alright. Bring back the pitch a little bit to climb a little bit faster. And outside air temperature up here already now, we're at about 0 Celsius, so I'll flip on the pitot heat here. And the temperature here in the cabin is 63, so a little more heat. But yeah, other than that, we're climbing pretty well. No performance issues so far. I did see whenever planning this on SimBrief, some of the minimum sector altitudes en route to La Paz were like 23 some odd thousand feet. I don't think we're even going to be able to climb close to that. On the way here to Loa, we could barely, we barely made it to 20,000, and we were supposed to be at 21,000. So I don't think we're going to make it to, 230 or anything like that. But I did look at a lot of the terrain. I spent a lot of time looking at the terrain, and there shouldn't be anything that should interfere with us at 20,000. So I think as long as we make it to 20,000, we should be pretty good. We should be pretty okay. Okay, we're pretty close here. We'll be turning on course shortly. Still climbing. We're at 15.3 right now. No weather in sight, honestly, which is how I like it. No clouds, no storms, nothing to really worry about, so it's A-okay by me. Should be intercepting this any second now. See how well that goes. don't entirely understand how some of this GPS navigation goes. Oh, there we go. I think we're starting to intercept it, right? Yeah, perfect. Turning on course now. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. We just, okay, well. That's okay.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Contact the Geek Center on 128.7.
Iquique Center on 128.7, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. 1287, transfer. Iquique Center, Aerostar 702 Sierra Bravo, climbing through 16,300 for flight level 200.
Aerostar November 702 Sierra Bravo, Iquique Center, identified. Buenas tardes, Calama, QNH 1016.
Buenos tardes, QNH 1016, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Alright, we're just barely climbing now. Just barely. Push our props up a little bit and make sure to keep leaning our mixtures out here. Right, still climbing through 17,000 here, so we got 3,000 feet to go. Obviously our airspeed's pretty low, doing like about what, 105, 106, maybe 107 knots. Got our mixtures leaned. Again, not breaking any climb speed records or anything like that. You know, a few hundred feet per minute, so it might take us 10 more minutes to reach 20,000. But if that's the case, then so be it. At the end of the day, the point is to get to 20,000, not necessarily to do it fast, so. Yeah, I will talk to you guys again when we reach cruise altitude or if something happens in the meantime. Alright, we're up here at flight level 200. Got our mixtures all leaned out. Trying to make best power here at Richard Peak. And yeah, everything seems to look pretty good. We got the props pulled back to 2100. Throttles are still against the stops, and yeah, the mixtures are pretty lean here, but getting almost 120 indicated. We're doing 189 knots across the ground, so of course that is with the almost 30 knot like quartering tailwind, so I'm sure that's helping a little bit. But yeah, still doing pretty good. Getting things kind of situated into the cruise here, and yeah, now we'll probably get some cinematic shots, and I will be back with you guys closer to top of descent. I think, let's see. Yep, the Garmin here is showing about an hour and 35 time en route to destination. And so yeah, top of descent will probably be in like, you know, not much sooner than that. So since we'll only have to descend, you know, about 6,000 or so feet to get to the airport. So you can see the terrain ahead of us. You know, I mean, we're at 20,000 feet, and there are already some mountain peaks in the distance that look a little foreboding. So yeah, I will catch you guys back here in a bit. Contact with La Paz Center now. Still cruising along at 20,000 feet. Our indicated airspeeds went down a little bit now that we're at a bit more of an angle to this crosswind, and they picked up to about 32 knots. So that's obviously, you know, blowing us off course just a little bit, but we're doing okay. We're about 144 miles out, so less than an hour. Well, sorry. That's actually incorrect. 144 miles to our next waypoint, and then we are an hour and 25 roughly from the destination in La Paz. So yeah, doing okay. Got a little bit of terrain up ahead, but I still think we should be above it. I'll check back with you guys again in a little bit. All right, everybody, just checking in. Still here at flight level 200. Still doing about 110, 115 indicated. Doing about 167 over the ground. And we still got a crosswind about 26 knots from the east. Sorry, from the west, rather. And we're about 49, 48 minutes away from La Paz. I'm looking over some of the procedures and just kind of general overview information of the airport, so just, I don't know, basically just trying to take it all in, kind of get mentally prepared, because I believe this will be the highest elevation landing I've ever done in a naturally aspirated piston engine aircraft. Yeah, we're gonna try to stay fast. I don't want to get too slow, you know, up here where the air is so thin. We'll keep our oxygen on all the way till landing, just because our body won't be acclimated to being at these elevations. So we just got cleared. I've not been, had my mic muted, I've not been speaking, but basically we've just pulled up the approach, ILS X-ray approach into La Paz, just verifying it here that it was loaded in, which it has been. And we put the ILS frequency in course 102, 110.3 for the ILS. And then we were just looking at the chart here and just confirming the same information. Basically, that we'll be coming in right here. We'll be turning on course and we want to be at 14,500 to intercept the glide slope at Vucan, which is DME 5.2. Yep, other than that, things are looking pretty good. About 26 minutes. Estimated time to our destination. Now we are just waiting for ATC to clear us down, which we should expect sometime after we cross our robo. Our robo was supposed to be at 25,000 or above, but obviously we can't climb that high. Alright, we're getting a little bit of cloud cover here, and the temperature is well below zero, or about 10, 11 degrees below zero here. So, just going to throw on the prop de-ice. Well, I guess it is de-ice, not anti-ice, so we'll leave it off, but just want to keep an eye out if we start picking up any icing coming into La Paz here. And we should be expecting a descent any minute here now. Alright, LP906 coming up, 18,000 or above, we're at 20,000, so I mean, not too much higher than that, but we'd like to get descending if we could, just because I want to stay ahead of everything. Obviously we're not a big high performance jet or anything, so this approach is a little, I will say I'm pretty nervous, honestly. I don't know what to expect, and we're trying to take good care of the Aerostar here. And I'm trying to be professional. I mean, I don't claim to be a professional. I'm sure that's clearly obvious, but I will say that I attempt to do things correctly where I can, where my mental capacity can keep up with it. And so yeah, I'm nervous because I want to do a good job.
Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Descend altitude 16,000 feet. Maintain present heading vectors for the ILS runway 10 approach. QNH 1025.
Just to maintain altitude 16,000 feet and maintaining present heading vectors for the ILS runway 10 approach. QNH 1025 Aerostar to Sierra Bravo.
Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Descend altitude 16,000 feet.
Descending to 16,000 feet, Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Descending down now. Now I always forget. Okay, yeah, it's the comma key. That automatically resets the altimeter settings. That's good to know. Just because I can't, not that good with math to easily convert QNH to inches of mercury.
Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Contact La Paz approach on 119.5.
La Paz approach 119.5. Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Right, and then also we'll put in the tower frequency, which is 18.3. La Paz approach, Aerostar number 702 Sierra Bravo, descending through 18,300 for 16,000.
Aerostar November 702 Sierra Bravo. La Paz approach identified. Saludos.
Right there's 17,500, so we got 1,500 feet to go. We'll start our approach checklist, so boost pumps coming on. Make sure we've leaned, and we'll lean it again once we're fully on the approach. We'll make sure we have max power, fuel selectors are on. Flaps, we'll probably go to 10 degrees initially, and then we'll see from there how much we can dump out after we get the gear down, which is 157 knots. So far, hydraulic pressure's looking good. We'll check that again once we put down some flaps and some gear. Right, coming below 17,000 now, 800 feet to go to level off. Here's Useville, 17,000 or above, so obviously they cleared us below that, so we're not, we're not following the star anymore. But I guess to be fair, we weren't to begin with, so. I believe that's the airport over there, kind of hard to tell, but. Right, 500 feet to go. Start leveling off a little bit.
Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Turn right heading 010.
Right to 010, Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Right to 010, we're going to start leveling off now. And the airport should be over here to our right more. I think that's it right there. We'll start leveling it off, 100 feet to go.
Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Descend altitude 15,000 feet. Turn right heading 020.
Descend 15,000 feet right to 020, Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Alright, we'll keep descending.
Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. 8 miles from Volcano. Turn right heading 055. Descend altitude 14,500 feet until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 10 approach.
Turn right heading 055, descend to altitude 14,500 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 10 approach, Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Coming in now. About 1,000 feet to go. 14.5. Got a lot of speed, but that's going to bleed off pretty quickly, so. Just adjust our heading a little bit for a little bit shallower intercept. Actually see arm nav here. This is all going to start happening very quickly. So 250 feet to go. It's 14.5.
Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Contact La Paz Tower on 118.3 crossing Volcano.
Over to La Paz Tower, 18.3 when crossing Volcan. Aerostar to Sierra Bravo. Right. There's our altitude. We're going to have arm approach mode now. Actually need to send more. There's the runway. We're going to go over to tower. We're just going to go visual probably. La Paz Tower, Aerostar 702 Sierra Bravo, inbound ILS, runway 10 approach.
Aerostar November 70, 2 Sierra Bravo, La Paz Tower, runway 10, active. Continue approach. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. After the departing Boliviana 737, runway 10, winds 050 at 5, clear to land. Caution, wake turbulence.
Runway 10, clear to land. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, and we're watching for the departing aircraft. And caution, wake turbulence. Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Alright, so we're way high. We're at 14.5 if we can, but the approach, the glide slope just didn't capture, so I'm not sure. Alright, we're on full flaps. Props full forward, coming in. Definitely botched that approach. I didn't go as planned on the approach, but I was worried we were going to end up losing too much speed. But yeah, we should have configured sooner for approach and then been ready to correct for that glide slope. Kind of threw me off completely. Right now, the real question. Let's see if we can turn off this taxiway up here, I guess. Yeah, okay, we can turn off here. Great, yeah, that's definitely not how we wanted it to go, but we made it in safely, so that's what matters at the end of the day.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, exit at Alpha if able. Contact ground on 121.9er.
Over to ground, 121.9er, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, thanks. 121.9er. Oh. Alright. La Paz ground, Aerostar 702 Sierra Bravo. Vacated runway 10 at Alpha. We'd like to request taxi to general aviation parking if available.
Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo, taxi to general aviation parking via Alpha Bravo. Good day.
Taxi to general aviation parking via Alpha Bravo, Aerostar 2 Sierra Bravo. Alright, strobes off. Boost pumps off, flaps can come up. I'm gonna take a deep breath. Yeah, I definitely think I overcompensated from forgetting to lean
Avianca 8080, request push and start clearance.
when we flew into El Loa. And
Avianca 8080, cleared for push and start.
And
Avianca 8080.
I forgot to lean on that approach, and then I overcompensated by carrying way too much speed on this one. And, well, you guys saw what happened. Amateur hour over here. But that's okay. We made it in, which is what's important. Cabin temperature is getting a little warm, so honestly we're gonna just pop off the heat. Oof, a little bumpy here. Come on, Aerostar. It's not wanting to turn. Oh, my controls. Sometimes there's this weird thing where they just decide they're going to disconnect.
Avianca 8080, ready to taxi.
Avianca 8080, runway 10 taxi at your discretion.
Runway 10 taxi, our discretion, Avianca 8080.
Okay, so according to the safe taxi, it looks like there's an apron of, or not an apron, but a taxiway of some sort up here we can take. Okay, yeah, I just couldn't see it because of the terrain. But here it is here. Great.
5689, request pushback.
Eco 5689er, push and start approved.
Pushback approved, Eco 5689er.
And let's see, we should probably just park left in front of one of these hangars. I think that would be good. Maybe here in front of this blue hangar.
Eco 5689 are ready to taxi.
Eco 5689er, runway 10 taxi via Charlie, Alpha.
Runway 10 taxi via Charlie, Alpha Eco 5689er.
Right, I think we can call it good there. Set the parking brake. Just Economy will end its flight, hopefully. Which, funnily enough, I almost forgot to start. I actually didn't start it until we were airborne, until we were on the SID out of Calama. So that's, thankfully, it's still, I was still able to start it. We were still close enough. All right. Let's go over our after landing checklist. The props are full forward, flaps are up, boost pumps are off, the trim tabs are neutral, the cabin heater is off, PW can come off too, and the shutdown parking brake set. Engines cool down at idle, I think they're probably good. We could let them cool down a little bit more, maybe. Radios and lights. So I could turn the landing and nav lights off. And the avionics master can come off. Alright. Well, guys, I think that was a pretty successful flight overall. Other than me getting behind the airplane on the approach. Of my own fault, too, which, you know, is funny since that was my whole reasoning for carrying, you know, extra speed is I didn't want to get too slow, and then I just, you know, messed things up, but that's okay. You know, this is supposed to be kind of an adventure, so. But yeah, we made it in safely, and that's what matters. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the scenery and the chaos that ensued. Alright. So they've cooled down, radios and lights are off. Get ready to kill the mags here. Alright, mags off. Idle cut off. Fuel valves to off. Off, off, off. Alright, that's everything complete. So get out here and take a breath of the fresh, high-altitude Bolivian air. Alright, let's get the chocks in place. Goodness gracious. That was definitely an experience. Alright, well, guess there's not much else to say, except I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did like it, make sure to give it a like, hit that thumbs up, lets me know that you guys like what I'm doing here. Subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified whenever I post my next video. There's also a playlist that'll be linked at the end of the episode that you can watch if you want to catch up on any of the episodes you've missed. I try to post once a week on Sundays at noon Central Standard Time, or Central Time. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And until next time, take care, stay safe, and happy flying.